There's a strange feeling you might have noticed lately, a kind of mental restlessness that wasn't there 5 or 10 years ago. You check your phone more often. You expect things to happen faster. You feel irritated when something takes a few seconds longer than you want. And when you finally get a moment of silence, your mind doesn't know what to do with it anymore. That's not your personality changing. That's not modern stress. And it's definitely not random. Something else is shaping your brain from the inside. And it's doing it quietly, subtly, almost elegantly. Artificial intelligence. Not the sci-fi version. The everyday version, the one inside your apps, your search results, your recommendations, your decisions, and even your emotions. But here's the thing. Most people don't realize. AI is not just influencing your behavior. AI is rewiring the architecture of your mind. It's reshaping how you think, how you feel, how you make choices, how you process information, and even how you experience reality. And the scariest part, you didn't notice it happening. Psychologists like Daniel Kahneman, neuroscientists like Andrew Huberman, and cyber-psychology experts like Mary Aiken have all been pointing to the same pattern. A pattern that AI accelerates. The human mind is becoming optimized for speed, not depth. For reaction, not reflection. For stimulation, not meaning. And this shift is happening faster than any cognitive adaptation in human history. Think about your own mind. Before AI became a part of your daily life, you could wait. You could tolerate boredom. You could sit with your thoughts longer. And most importantly, your brain wasn't being trained by algorithms that studied you 24/7. Before AI, your thinking was slow but resilient. You had the mental space to wander. Imagine, reflect, get lost in ideas. Your attention was longer. Your dopamine cycles were simpler. Your emotional state was not constantly influenced by hyper-personalized digital stimuli. But the moment AI entered your environment, everything began shifting. Not suddenly, not dramatically, but consistently, subtly, inevitably. Your brain began adapting to the rules of a new world, a world where everything is optimized to capture you, predict you, and influence you. AI learned your reactions. AI learned your cravings. AI learned your emotional patterns. AI learned your vulnerabilities. And slowly, your mind started reorganizing itself around the patterns AI rewarded. You became quicker at switching tasks, but worse at staying with one. You became better at consuming, but worse at contemplating. You became excellent at reacting, but weaker at waiting. You became overstimulated, but undersatisfied. The shift is so invisible that most people blame themselves. They say, I can't focus. But the truth is, their focus wasn't lost. It was retrained. They say, my attention is getting worse. But their attention isn't worse. It's fragmented by design. They say, I feel mentally tired. But their mental fatigue is coming from being stuck in a loop the brain was never built for. A loop defined by speed, novelty, and constant micro-rewards. This is the cognitive rewiring happening right now in millions of minds. And to understand how big this shift really is, you need to compare the pre-AI mind with the AI-conditioned mind. Before AI, you approached information like a journey. You searched, explored, connected ideas, questioned what you saw. After AI, information approaches you. It arrives pre-selected, pre-filtered, and pre-shaped for your psychology. You no longer navigate the world of knowledge. The world of knowledge navigates you. Before AI, your brain relied on memory. You recalled details, directions, concepts, conversations. After AI, memory becomes optional. Why remember anything when your device remembers everything? And when memory weakens, identity weakens with it. Because memory is the foundation of who you are. Before AI, your tolerance for uncertainty was higher. You could think without immediate answers. You could sit with questions longer. After AI, the brain becomes conditioned to demand instant clarity. Even a 2-second delay creates irritation because your dopamine cycle expects constant resolution. Before AI, your mind had natural pauses, spaces between thoughts, time to recover. After AI, The mind is in a constant stream, no pauses, no silence, no empty space. Always consuming, always stimulated, always expecting more. This is not about technology being good or bad. This is about understanding what constant exposure to AI-driven systems does to a human mind on a neurological level. Every swipe strengthens a pathway. Every personalized suggestion triggers dopamine. Every instant answer weakens patience. Every perfect prediction reshapes expectations. Every algorithmic pattern becomes a cognitive pattern. Your brain is learning from AI, just like AI is learning from you. But here's the deeper truth, the part cognitive psychologists are most concerned about. AI doesn't just influence how you think. It influences what you think about. It silently selects the ideas you are exposed to. It filters what you see. It decides what appears important. It funnels your attention in a direction that feels natural, even though it was engineered. The modern human mind is slowly becoming algorithm compatible, predictable, reactive, optimized for the digital environment instead of the real world. And the most dangerous rewiring is this. Your baseline for reality is shifting. Things that are slow feel unbearable. Things that are simple feel boring. Things that are quiet feel uncomfortable. Things that require effort feel unnecessary. AI is teaching your brain an extremely artificial version of life, and real life is struggling to compete. If AI can reshape your mind unconsciously, you can reshape your mind consciously. You can use the same tools, the same algorithms, the same psychological mechanisms to rebuild a stronger, deeper, sharper, more resilient version of yourself. You may think you're using AI casually, only when you need answers, only when you're curious, only when it's convenient. But the truth is deeper than that. AI is not changing your thoughts from the outside. It is reshaping the environment in which your thoughts are formed. Your brain stops predicting alone. It starts relying on the algorithm to predict for it. You search less because AI already gives you what you're looking for. You choose less because AI filters the choices for you. You think less deeply because AI gives you ready-made clarity. And every time this happens, the brain updates its wiring. If the algorithm will predict for me, then why should I waste the energy? That's the moment the rewiring begins. You don't feel it. You don't notice it. There's no internal warning sign because the brain loves efficiency, and AI feels like the perfect shortcut. But shortcuts change the landscape. Think about attention. Before AI, attention was like a torchlight. You had to point it somewhere intentionally. Now attention is like a leaf in a river, carried automatically by whatever the algorithm shows you next. Every swipe, every suggestion, every autoplay trains your brain to expect stimulation without effort. This is why your mind feels loud, even when the room is quiet. Why silence feels uncomfortable. Why slow moments feel empty. Your nervous system has been conditioned to expect constant novelty, because AI always provides it. This is what psychologists call a dopamine mismatch. You're living in a slow world, with a brain that expects a fast one. That's why real life feels harder today. Not because life got more difficult, but because AI made your baseline artificially high. Relationships feel slower. Work feels slower. Conversations feel slower. Learning feels slower. Even entertainment feels slower. The modern human mind is experiencing a kind of cognitive whiplash, constantly pulled between human speed and algorithmic speed. This mismatch doesn't just affect attention, it affects memory. Memory isn't a storage system, it's a muscle. And like every muscle, what you don't use weakens. Before AI, your memory was constantly exercised, recalling details, facts, directions, ideas, names, dates. Now AI holds those details for you. Every time you rely on the machine to remember something, your brain says, okay, I guess I don't need to store this anymore. That's why people today feel more forgetful. Not because their brain is damaged, but because their memory is being outsourced. The mind becomes dependent, softened, comfortable in the algorithm's arms. And then comes the emotional rewiring. Human emotions were built for a world of slow reactions, slow news, slow social interaction. But now AI predicts what you'll feel and feeds you content calibrated to keep you scrolling. It doesn't care if it makes you angry, excited, curious, or sad. It only cares about keeping you engaged. But your brain does care, because emotions are chemical events. Every spike leaves an imprint. Every dopamine hit changes your thresholds. Every emotional cycle teaches your brain what normal feels like. And here is the dangerous shift. Your emotional threshold is no longer formed by real life. It's formed by AI-curated stimulation. That's why ordinary moments feel dull. Why meaningful conversations feel too slow. Why reading feels like effort. Why patience is disappearing from everyday life. The modern mind is overstimulated, but undernourished. And here's the part few people understand, yet every top psychologist warns about. Once the mind adapts to a faster digital environment, it begins rejecting the natural human environment. Your brain starts saying, "This is too slow, too quiet, too boring, too effortful. Give me something easier, something faster, something predictable." And what's the only thing that satisfies that? Artificial intelligence. But the more the mind relies on AI, the weaker the deep cognitive functions become. The ones that define human intelligence: focus, memory, discipline, reflection, creativity, emotional regulation, long-term thinking, identity formation. These abilities don't disappear, but they become underused, and unused abilities shrink. This is the part where some people begin to panic, but that's not the purpose of this message. The purpose is clarity, because once you understand how the rewiring happens, you can reverse it. You can use AI consciously. You can strengthen the abilities AI silently weakens. You can turn the algorithm into your tool, instead of becoming its product. So let's move deeper into the mechanisms shaping your mind right now. Your mind is being influenced by 3 invisible loops. Number 1, the attention loop. AI predicts what will hold your focus, and your brain adapts by expecting high stimulation. Number 2, the dopamine loop. AI designs patterns that reward micro-engagements, and your brain begins seeking constant activity, no matter how meaningless. Number 3, the predictive loop. AI offers instant answers, and your brain slowly loses its tolerance for uncertainty. These loops may feel harmless, but they shape the architecture of your personality over time. You begin living in reactive mode, every moment influenced by what appears on your screen next. Not because you lack discipline, but because the environment you live in is engineered to reshape you. This is why so many people today report, "I feel mentally tired. I can't focus like before. I forget things more easily. I feel anxious when I'm not stimulated. I get irritated over small delays. I don't feel like myself anymore." These are not random problems. These are symptoms of cognitive adaptation, the mind reshaping itself to fit the rhythm of AI-driven environments. Your brain is incredibly adaptive. Whatever you expose it to regularly, it becomes optimized for. Expose it to chaos, it becomes reactive. Expose it to speed, it becomes impatient. Expose it to instant answers, it becomes dependent. But expose it to intentional thinking, and it becomes powerful again. This is where the transformation begins. Because the truth is, AI is not your enemy. Your environment is not your enemy. Your brain is not failing. Your brain is simply adapting, exactly as it was designed to do. You've probably started noticing a pattern by now. A feeling that your mind has been moving faster than your life. A sense that your thoughts are being shaped by the digital world more than by your own intentions. And maybe, for the first time, you can clearly see how these invisible patterns have been influencing you without asking for permission. But here's the shift most people never reach. Once you can see how your mind is being shaped, you can begin shaping it back. The human mind is not fragile. It is not permanently damaged. It is not doomed to distraction or emotional overload. It is adaptable. It is plastic. It is rewirable. And the same environment that weakened your focus, your patience, and your emotional balance can be used to rebuild them, if you approach it consciously. The first step is something most people avoid: stillness. Not a dramatic kind of silence, not meditation on a mountain, but simple, small moments of non-stimulation. Because the modern mind has become allergic to stillness. Every empty moment feels like a void that must be filled. Every pause feels like something is missing. But the truth is reversed. The pause is not the problem. The pause is the cure. When you allow even a few seconds without stimulation, your neural circuits begin resetting. Your dopamine levels stabilize. Your attention learns to rest instead of chase. And your emotional system finally gets a chance to breathe. You don't need long stretches of silence. You don't need perfect discipline. You need small pockets of intentional emptiness. Moments where your brain remembers what it feels like to be in control. Then comes the second shift, and this one is powerful. You start using AI not to replace your thinking, but to deepen it. Instead of asking for answers, you ask for perspectives. Instead of shortcuts, you ask for clarity. Instead of instant conclusions, you ask for deeper questions. Instead of predictions, you ask for possibilities. This is where AI becomes a tool for cognitive expansion rather than cognitive outsourcing. Your brain begins rebuilding the muscles that matter: memory, reasoning, reflection, long-term confidence. Every time you let AI provoke your thinking instead of performing your thinking, you strengthen the neural pathways that make you unique. But something else is needed, something deeply human. Your identity must become intentional again. AI influences your preferences, your recommendations, your attention patterns, your emotional cycles. If you don't form a conscious identity, the algorithm will form one for you. You rebuild identity by choosing the kind of mind you want to develop, not the mind the world is shaping for you, the mind you want to live with. A mind that thinks deeply instead of reacting instantly. A mind that holds attention instead of fragmenting. A mind that feels emotions fully instead of chasing stimulation. A mind that controls the machine instead of being trained by it. Identity is not built in a dramatic moment. Identity is built in micro-decisions. One choice at a time, one pattern at a time. Every time you choose depth over speed, you strengthen your identity. Every time you take a moment before reacting, you strengthen your identity. Every time you slow down your scrolling, your thinking, your consumption, you strengthen your identity. Every time you ask AI a thoughtful question instead of a quick fix, you strengthen your identity. And the modern world needs intentional identity more than ever. Because the greatest danger isn't that AI will become smarter than humans. The real danger is that humans will forget how powerful they already are. Your ability to reflect is powerful. Your ability to imagine is powerful. Your ability to tolerate uncertainty is powerful. Your ability to choose is powerful. Your ability to direct your mind is powerful. You may not feel it every day, but that power is still there. It's underneath the noise, underneath the stimulation, underneath the habits AI encouraged, underneath the mental fatigue you've been living with. And this is the moment where you take it back, not by rejecting technology, but by using it deliberately. AI can help you learn faster. AI can help you think better. AI can help you reflect deeper. AI can help you expand your intelligence far beyond traditional limits. But only if you stay in control of the steering wheel. You don't need a digital detox. You don't need to quit technology. You don't need to escape the modern world. You need one thing: intention. When you use AI with intention, your mind sharpens. When you think before consuming, your mind strengthens. When you pause before reacting, your mind stabilizes. When you allow boredom, your creativity reawakens. When you embrace slower moments, your clarity returns. A calm mind is not a gift. A focused mind is not a talent. A resilient mind is not an accident. All of these are adaptations, and your brain is always adapting. Your environment can shape you, but you can shape your environment right back. And that's where true power is. Not in knowing everything, not in predicting everything, but in directing the evolution of your own mind. The modern world is changing faster than any generation has ever experienced. AI will keep advancing. Algorithms will keep learning. Information will keep accelerating. And the external world will never slow down again. But you can slow down internally. You can design a mind that thrives in speed without being consumed by it. You can build a mental framework that stays sharp even when the world becomes chaotic. You can rise above the noise instead of drowning in it. You are not meant to think like a machine. You are meant to think like a human, deeply, consciously, intentionally. That's where your power is. That's what AI can never replace. That's what makes you extraordinary. And when you rediscover that inner strength, AI becomes just another tool, not your master, not your captor, not your invisible programmer. Your mind becomes yours again.